Hey guys, welcome back to the second half, and things are looking pretty good.
Jesus Christ, those KO rolls are
That
not
guy,
good.
remember that Saurus went down before the match even
Went
started.
down on turn 0. Hey!
Hey, look,
Again, cheerleaders don't matter.
cheerleaders don't matter because we have the crowd on our side anyway.
Oh, touchback.
I see a touchback, I see a werewolf with 9 movement. I don't think about this, and I probably should have thought about this a little more, but I'm gonna go for it.
You should have given it to the ghoul, because
I'm
your ghoul
going
needs
for it.
levels. Ghouls need levels, and your werewolf already got a level this game.
I could have played more conservatively. I could have just continued with the plan as it would have been anyway. But I was like, you know what? I bet I can run this super fucking fast werewolf down, survive one skink punch, and walk it in the end zone and be sitting on 2
Did
to
you
0.
forget that Sauruses are 6 movement? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Smart.
Because I can
And
stand
then you
next
didn't
to.
do it anyway.
No, I can stand next to them. Like that's all I have to do is just stand next to them.
Oh, that's
and if they
true.
stand next to me, I'll just like dodge away or blitz away or something. So yeah, like I'm ready to go for it, and so we're gonna play a little bit of conservative defense in case my ironclad plan fails. I'm sure some of you, probably quite a few of you, can already see the fatal flaw in my plan. As stupid as it is, obviously.
There's like a billion skinks.
Yes, but there's also like the plan was don't get punched by a Saurus. My problem is because of how I am flanged. If flanged is the right word. Right here, I don't really care about the double both down.
Yeah.
But the fact is that the Croxagore can free himself he can get freed pretty easily by Saurus.
Ooh, baby, that's not good.
Me being on offense, setting my guys up like that was probably not a great idea for this exact scenario. So here we go. I like there. I mean, there goes the journeyman
Loner.
zombie. Who cares?
Rip
Whatever.
loner.
Let's hope for a bonehead. Maybe that'd be great.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Look at that Crocs move. This is where I'm sad that you didn't stand one space to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you could have gotten out of that, and then you would have been out of range of both the Saurus and the Crocs.
If I would have stood one
But
to the
you
right,
weren't thinking about the line.
yeah. If I could have stood one to the right, I would have been pinned. Even like he could have very easily, or she. Sorry, I keep fucking. She could have very easily pinned my werewolf up against the sideline.
Yeah, but you had a whole bunch of players that were free. And
Yes!
you could have punched a whole bunch of players free, and then a double both down or whatever. It's not great. Then Beef Slab falls over. It makes me
Beef Slab
sad.
doing his job of tying up 2 Sauruses and wasting a reroll.
Yeah.
Making the lizards waste a reroll.
So, I mean, in the end, it was just really, really greedy play.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Not going to deny that.
Exceptionally greedy play. Like, elves, you do that just because you can run like 37 players through there, and then you'd have like an entire screen or cage set up in their backfield already. That pickup isn't great for you either.
No. This was like at this point I start to think like that probably wasn't a great plan.
No. Yeah, well, hindsight is 2020.
I mean, we really haven't had a chance to show off the fact that my 9 movement werewolf. First of all, he's faster than all these skinks. He is fucking really fast.
It is
and
impressive.
I was like, the plan was like, I'm just gonna like get the ball to the werewolf and just try to spring a fast touchdown on these Sauruses, on these Lizardmen, to try to guarantee the fact that I won't have to have like a nail biter like last turn.
And instead, you're gonna have a nail biter.
Mm-hmm.
You ensured that you were gonna have a nail biter.
I have given the ball to a skink, and that is terrible, terrible news.
I mean, the upside is that she ran all her skinks over there to be skink buddies.
Yep.
So there's no real chance of like moving the ball 17 squares because a skink handed off to another skink, and now the ball is like way the fuck over there, and there's nothing you can do about it. But I mean, you are also really, really weak on your left flank. So if she just left a skink over there and then just handed the ball to it, you would have been in severe, severe trouble.
As it stands now,
That was an impressive Saurus 1DB.
well, yeah, I have plenty of pretty impressive Saurus 1DBs in this game, which is pretty good because that's probably the best I can hope for with all my zombies.
Quick, let's punch a skink. Let's always punch a skink.
And so I was try as I might to get up in that skink and maybe throw a block against it because like frankly, if I can punch a skink now, this is probably the best chance I'm going to have to try to punch a skink. But I'm not able to.
Skink punch every day.
I'm not able to clear a path, and so we're just gonna hit that skink and then sort of retreat and prepare for the army of skinks flooding past my borders.
Yeah, this is where Stunty is really, really nasty because She can just run skinks through your line every day. You really have to kind of just force Stunty to roll way too many dice.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's a 2 dodges, who gives a fuck? You just do it anyway. But if it's like 4, 5, 6 dodges, then even with the dodge skill and Stunty, the 3+ is not.
Yes.
Jesus Christ!
That's 4 or 5 or something. I stopped counting.
Oh my god, this is
as bad as my
good.
dice were, and so that makes me pretty happy on the inside. I'm willing to admit that makes me happy.
Counterpoint: as bad as her dice are, she's still gonna score this turn, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, no. See, here's the thing: if Beef Slap can hold up, if he can take his lumps here, because the fact that he stood firm, he could pretty easily clear that source out of the way. And there's not really a great caging option right here.
That's true.
I mean, that's essentially 4 blocks are going to be thrown against Beef Slap here.
Ooh, the legendary 3DB.
Legendary 3DB and the Ghetto Blodge maneuver means that I don't get knocked down.
Yay.
But I'm standing next to a player who
I
has
would have been real tempted to take that both down, because the Crocs is 9 armor and the Ghoul is a Ghoul.
And in fact, I would have been happy with that because it would have cleared the path to the skink. But now a lot of my guys that I don't want standing next to sources are standing next to sources, and my good players are on the ground, and that's not good.
Also, I didn't notice that your werewolf had gotten stunned. That wasn't great.
So Beef Slab can't do his job. What a shitty asshole. He gets KO'd immediately, and there he goes.
I'm sorry.
So now this is a very interesting choice by the Lizardmen and Cuwi here. She's going to cage, but for some reason she's going to choose to protect the back. Like, I can't attack that corner, but I can very easily just blitz that free corner of the cage. I'm not sure what she was thinking, but so now I'm basically making the decision, who do I want to blitz the skink? Pelvis Costello or Bone Cruncher McGraw?
I think you want Pelvis Costello because he's been a consistent winner.
He's also been consistently niggled and hurt.
Doesn't matter. Niggle doesn't make you worse at punching the hell out of skinks.
Yeah, but it makes it so that when you're standing next to the Saurus after you punch the skink, that you yourself won't die in retaliation.
Doesn't matter. Pelvis Costello is an American hero.
I'm not debating it. I'm going to use Pelvis. Like obviously I'm going to use Pelvis. One thing I will point out that actually I don't think it ever factors into this match is the fact that the Croc Square has a skill called Prehensile Tail, which basically means it makes it like you get a -1 modifier too if you try to dodge away from it. So here we go. Anyway, Pelvis Costello doesn't get the knockdown. He probably wasn't going to anyway. But we're just going to sort of pressure the skink. So here we go. Like this dodge, which would normally be a 3+, because he has Prehensile Tail, it makes it a 4+, but I roll a 6 anyway, so who cares? That guy sucks.
Rolling 6 is the best skill. Mm-hmm. I totally fucked that up. It was going to be great, and then I'm terrible.
No, it's okay. That's how I feel like this match is going to go.
It's a perfect metaphor for the match.
I run off with that werewolf. It was going to be great, and then I fucked it up and everything went bad.
Well, Lizardman matches can get really out of hand because, just the same way that you can just kind of tie up all the Sauruses and then the skinks all fall down and they don't handle the ball and everything's terrible, you can also have those turns where the Sauruses just zone all your players out and the skinks run away with everything and everything is bad. So, like I said, Lizardmen are a team of extremes. Jesus Christ, she cannot roll a bonehead to save her life.
And that was totally going to be that werewolf getting punched in the face.
That's disgusting. And that was a blitz, too. Oh. But yeah, Lizardmen are a team of extremes. They're really strong, but really agile at the same time. And especially early on, they're incredibly effective and hard to deal with, or they just go nowhere. Mm-hmm. And there is no middle ground. There's no my lizard game went okay. No, you just either pushed all their dudes out of the way and they punched their faces in while the skinks ran around, or you went nowhere and then your skinks did nothing.
I mean, the only way you could say my lizard game went okay is that it manages to fluctuate between the greatest thing ever and fucking terrible, and it sort of reaches a middle ground by the end of the match where it's it was half the time it was fucking awful, half the time it went really good.
And nobody died, so it was okay.
We're starting to see some of the really good part from the lizards here.
Yeah, this is nasty because lizards have a really mobile cage. Like, the skink cage is kind of hilarious because you have an entire cage of 8 movement stunty dodgers. So they just run around and they're like, I'm a cage, whee! And then they're like caging inside your butt, and it's not great.
Here we go, source punching.
Punch all the sources. No.
Unfortunately, the way everything was set up, once again, trying to blitz with my werewolf, I don't have an exit strategy to get down the field and play some defense. So I'm just gonna like shuffle back to where I was, and just sort of try to keep the skinks where they are for a turn.
That's not.
So I can get the werewolf. I can get the werewolf back into the action. The turn after this one.
Yeah, that's questionable at best because the werewolf's gonna get punched to hell by that Croxagore.
Yeah, losing my only strength 4 player makes this not good.
No, it makes it much hard.
That also makes it not good because now that's a 4+ to get away.
And without a reroll, without a free reroll.
I haven't had to use any of my team rerolls though, so and at this point,
nice.
I'm not gonna have any rerolls. I'm gonna have some rerolls left in my pile. That was Pelvis Costello. The niggle doesn't affect that one, but Pelvis paid for his heroics.
Yes, it's true. I mean, if he hadn't been there, the skink would have just run, but instead, Pelvis took it directly on the pelvis, and wasn't great.
Skinks can still totally fuck my shit up, and in fact, here we're gonna see the, if I remember correctly, we're gonna see a little bit of sideline caging, which is something I talked about.
Sideline caging is kind of interesting. I'm not a fan. Well, it's one out from sideline caging because you never want to actually sideline cage against Frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the reasons that I think that literally every team should have at least one Frenzy player, is that it just makes the sidelines way more dangerous. But that, without guard and without strength 4, I basically see no way that you can possibly break that cage. And with 4 turns to go and stunty and 8 movement, there's no way you can stop it. So right now it's not a question of if she's going to score, it's pretty much just a question of when. Yes.
I still, however, I against my better judgment after the fact, I still see the blood's boiling, and I see the surf opportunity, especially because I have that extra point of movement.
Shame for Display.
I mean, we're basically going to be sort of just pushing the agenda, I guess. And I'm gonna say, hey, you better do something, otherwise I'm just gonna keep surfing your dudes.
Please move your white first.
Yeah, I'll move my white first. I start to set up defensively for a little bit, and I'm like, wait a minute, I have 9 movement. Oh no, I don't. Well, whatever.
Oh man. And you do the thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we're doing the thing.
We're doing it?
No, we're doing the thing for sure.
You don't have an exit strategy for this.
Nope. I do,
matter.
However, I have a miss next game.
You have a rib breaking strategy.
My strategy was just to roll more dice, and it turns out
also
okay.
A not falling over strategy, which turns out to be good. Also, you didn't move your white.
Yeah. Well, who cares? Whatever.
Actually, if you'd moved your white, you would have been in the way.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, I could just stand next to that Saurus, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Like,
we want to tie. Yeah, we have all but one of the Sauruses tied up with zombies and a white, and it's good.
I ran out of zombies to tie up whites, to tie up Sauruses with, so now I have to use my white. He could be better used somewhere else, but the fact remains that I still have a frenzy guy, and I still have a block guy, so fingers crossed that I can make something happen. That doesn't help.
Rousal is the worst.
That was Rousal Ghoul.
Yes.
Pretty bad.
And it was the minimum roll to break armor and the minimum roll to KO, which makes me maximally sad.
Cuwi is going to
look at that KO box over there. Jesus.
Yeah, it's pretty multicultural, actually. I've got one of everything over there. So Cuwi's going to play pretty conservatively. She can still score from this position, which is one of the terrifying things about Lizardmen.
Yeah, you don't need to push that far in to make your break.
She is 10 squares away, and she can totally she'd be rolling 2 GFIs with no reroll, but she can totally go score this next turn if she wants to.
And all she really needs to do is just inch the cage forward 1 square or 2 squares to eliminate that GFI and then just make the break. And she still got dodge on all her skinks, so... And actually, if you left that cage corner open, she could just hand off and make it not a GFI, but
Yep.
the GFI is easier than the handoff, so never mind me.
So take a second to appreciate this board.
Oh.
I have 7 players. Over half of them are zombies. And I'm playing a team of 8 Lizardmen, and one of them has the ball, and the rest are strength 4, basically.
Yeah, this is one of those places where, like, the Lizardmen really excel in this situation, where you just can't hold all of them down.
Mm-hmm.
So they just get to do whatever they want, and it turns out that what they want to do is embarrass you and then score.
We're gonna try some late game heroics and make Cuwi definitely roll some dice, because she doesn't have any free rolls. But things are looking very not good. For the fairly elected.
Hooray! We punched a thing.
That definitely helps.
Oh man,
though.
that really does. That's painful.
Look at Santos Van fucking Hammerstein. That is a retired skink. That's a skink without a point of movement, and that is a severely
Rip skink. That skink is over.
Yep.
Yeah.
He is now. I think he has now gotten. Did he get an MVP? I think he's gotten SPP for every single action so far. He's cast a guy. He's thrown a pass. He's scored a touchdown. I guess he hasn't gotten an MVP yet.
Man,
but,
Santos Van Hammerstein is just like silently doing all the important things. He's the glue that holds this team together. Like, McGruff does the flashy plays, and Beef Slab and the Flesh Prince just kind of sit there and make their presence known, and the Whites go out and punch people, but Santos Van Hammerstein, he holds the fort down, man.
He does it all. Totally don't ignore the fact that Dr. White dodged away from a Croxicor, again, with Prehensile Tail. One of the secrets of Prehensile Tail is...
forget it's there?
If you forget it's there, it doesn't affect the game, but if you remember it's there, it also doesn't affect the game at all. So actually,
yes.
Just sometimes it works, but most of the time it seems like it doesn't. Because that's just the way life is. Like
pretty much.
You give your guy Prehensile Tail, and you're like, oh great, nobody's gonna dodge away from this guy now, and they just do it anyway because who cares? It's just another number.
Yeah, that, and it's like Prehensile Tail is like the 5th most interesting mutation to give to a whole bunch of people. So.
All right, so here we go. 2 GFIs. That's a skink touchdown. Whatever.
Oh man.
I mean, I wasn't really gonna stop that. Like, let's be honest.
Like I said, it wasn't a matter of if Cuwi was going to score, but when. Now the KOs get up, just in time for it to basically not matter.
Yes, and I don't remember if the babes affect anything, but my KOs come back as well.
We'll see if the babes affect things. Or will we? Because there's just too much... nope, they don't. They have no effect. High kick helps?
Yeah, yes, it does.
So now the play that we went for before, the let's just be a jerk and run our werewolf straight in.
Yep.
It's no longer the flashy play that makes us jerks. It's the
flashy play that makes us win.
It's the flashy play that is our only real option.
Mm-hmm. And I learned from the error of my ways, and I don't spread out my zombies.
Yes, which is smart. This is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, spreading out your zombies is the way you want to go on defense, because it means that it spreads out their players a little bit, and you don't want the offense to be able to create that kind of cage block. But when you're on offense, you pretty much just want to be able to hold them down as efficiently as possible.
So so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and just pass the ball to the werewolf and try to take off. At most I'm gonna take a 1 DB, but actually no. I'm gonna double skull the pickup, and that's gonna be the game. It's all over, but the formalities. You'll notice I went and stand Ras Al Ghul next to the sideline. It's sort of his punishment. Maybe a skink will try to minus 2 DB surf him. I actually hope for that.
Bonehead doesn't help, but what probably was going to happen is that Saurus was going to go and try and surf him. No, he couldn't. That would
he couldn't.
Impossible.
I mean, without
that would have been very, very difficult. Never mind.
But I basically wanted, like, that was my way of saying, here you go. Here's Ras Al Ghul. He's not easy to get to, but if you want to surf him, feel free.
I probably would have run the werewolf into scoring position instead of trying to pass because it was pretty hard to hit Santos Van Hammerstein, and he's got blodge anyway. And then I would have just been here. You have to deal with this.
It also would have meant that I wouldn't have blown all of my dice, all of my reroll opportunities, rolling everything in one big string. But frankly, I was just past the point of caring.
No,
and
I would have thrown the ball to him anyway.
Oh,
Fuck
okay.
It. Make the long bomb.
Throw it over the heads of a bunch of
well, the
lizards.
skinks are shitty at catching, and they're all mostly marked, and the sauruses are agility 1, and they're also all mostly marked, so...
I know it's like on average it's like a 5+ roll, but every time I try to do that, I end up just throwing an interception, like 70% of the time.
It would have been awesome to see, though. I would have been okay with that.
Look at Beef Slab, though. He's redeeming himself a little bit by
absorbing dub skulls.
By absorbing dub both downs.
Same diff.
Right.
No block. And see here, if the werewolf was in scoring position, you'd still have a chance. This is one of the most important things, is that before you try to roll dice, always put a player in scoring position, because if it gets to turn 16 and you have no players in scoring position, then the game is simply over. But if it's turn 16 and you have a player in scoring position, then super stupid bullshit dice can always happen.
Check that shit.
Oh my god, Beef Slab, you beast.
And so yeah, I mean, getting a guy in scoring position is probably a good idea. But at the same time, if I would have gotten that guy in scoring position, he would have skinks standing next to him right now.
Yeah, but you can roll dice. Just roll all the fucking dice forever.
Yeah,
roll all the dice.
I tried to roll all the dice, and I got a dub skull. I got two ones.
Too bad.
So I'm gonna try to hurt a Saurus here.
More dice.
And it doesn't work. So whatever. Let's just go do a long shot pass, and I'm just gonna probably leave that ball carrier next to the sideline because I want him to get surfed. Maybe not though.
No.
He can't even catch the ball without rolling a 1 first.
Shameful.
Fucking Ras Al Ghul. Maybe it's because I'm saying his name wrong. Apparently.
I don't actually know or care.
Mm-hmm. Somebody posted that I was saying his name wrong, but whatever.
Oh.
So yeah. Final thoughts about this match while we watch the Lizards wrap up and get their punches in.
This was actually a pretty good display of how Lizards work. The first half was an example of how Lizards don't work. Their sauruses get all tied up, and their skinks don't succeed at their 4 or their 3+, and then they just get covered, and nothing is great. The second half, however, that was an example of, oh my god.
That was just a badly hurt on Bone Cruncher,
That's
so
fine,
he'll be back.
But
he's fine.
More Lizard SPP. This is good for the Lizards.
Yep.
Even though Eskin got retired. But yes, the second half was pretty much an example of Lizards at their finest. When you can effectively hurt key players, zone out the remainder, and optimally when you have more strength 4 players than they have normal players. And then your skinks just run around like tiny little assholes that have 8 movement and cannot be stopped by mortal men. Lizardmen cannot be dealt with.
There's also a pretty good condemnation about early game Lizards, because they really, really, really need that block on their strength 4 sources.
Yeah, lots and lots of places where Skull Both Down was rolled, that block on nobody hurts, and block on a couple key players, especially choosing to block with blockers, really would have made the dice not hurt quite so much.
Yeah, so we get a shit ton of money. We get 90,000 gold. His minus movement skink gets the MVP. That's a guy who's going to get fired anyway. And look at that Pelvis Costello. Hey.
Yes. Okay.
He gets a level.
See what Pelvis rolls. And Niggle is not bad. I mean.
Yeah.
So.
So we're definitely going to have enough money to rebuy that werewolf with some change left over.
I'd like to note you can also purchase any loaners that you have for a game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Werewolf gets normals. That's fine.
Yep. That's perfect actually. It limits our options. And normals for Pelvis Costello as well.
Okay.
So that'll do it. Go ahead and go vote, and we'll see you guys next time for the next match.